good morning. Good morning. I'm Jason, and this is the morning ritual for guitar growth. This is something I do every weekday morning starting at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you are more than welcome to join Mr. Raul first to the gate today. First out of the gate. Yeah, right on. Right on. Good. All right. We got a room full of gangsters. All right. Very cool. Very cool, I guess. You know, I'm a big fan of all of those Godfather films, and I'm looking at the whole posse right here. Should we go ahead? Good morning, Kevin. Good morning. All right. So good morning, Raul. Ahoy. Aloha. First one. Yeah, that's right. Big smiley D right there. Big colon D. Uppercase D. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't work with a lowercase d, would it? Be kind of weird. Guitar for everyone. Ahoy. Ahoy. Anthony Tortorello, good morning. Sky Animates. We have Gita and Anggita. Hello from Indonesia. Good morning. Good morning. Very cool to see you this morning. Good morning, everybody. Kevin, good work, man. Good work. Raul, ahoy. Scott Sterling, we have a good morning over here. Exclamation points flying around everywhere already this morning. The little bit of housekeeping is that I'm going to note that you are smashing the like button accordingly, and it's wonderful. So good morning, Gita. Good morning. So here's our A440. I don't know if you can hear this morning or not. Anyway, let me just put it on my guitar, and we can get it flying. Jill Bourgeois, good morning. I've been thinking a little bit about modal interchange, but maybe that's a topic for another day. I still want to explore some minor some pentatonicism with you today. So I have some pretty special things that I wanted to practice and warm up. I want to use some of those opportunities, those pentatonic opportunities, to create little melodic warm-up nuggets, okay? I was thinking this morning, just watching the doggies run around outside this morning, so good angle for the hat. I'm not sure, it's kind of not really working this morning, but the glare is pretty killer though, isn't it? So we'll go ahead and play the down low. But it is watching the doggies run around this morning in the yard. It's always a moment, you know, because Tuckerman, the black and white Springer, always is wagging his little tail. He's got a tiny little tail. Fortunately, it was docked. I know we all feel differently about it, but his tail's docked, and we're thankful, you know. If he had a full-size tail, his tail would be broken multiple times a month. You know, he would abuse that tail, and we'd have more and more vet bills that we don't really need. All right. Not to mention the time it takes to get there, schedule a thing. The fork would be harder to hear this morning. So here's your A. Jill, thank you very much for notifying me that that stuff is helpful. While I'm cleaning my glasses, I'm preparing for just getting ready to set my intention for this practice, and it has to be I'm going to recommend that if you set an intention, I'm going to recommend you set it for yourself. It's got to be for yourself. It can be guitar related. It can be maybe you just want to get through this session. Maybe you have some other, have some other, things that we need to allocate energy to. Maybe it's not, maybe it's just life related, but I just wanted to take a moment and get that intention set this morning so we can just kind of get off on the right foot. So I'm setting my intention here. And intention is now set. So good morning again. Please play a song from Michael Bublé, Home. Yeah, that's a good song. All right, I think we're pretty close to in tune. So I'll go ahead and just give it a little bit of a breath here this morning. Make sure that I'm just kind of firm up my posture. Fadhil, good morning. All right, Bernie's here. Good morning, Bernie. Yeah, right on. L Fancy Kid. Yeah, I love that. That YouTube handle's awesome, yeah. L Fancy Kid. That's cool. Wayne McFarlane, good morning. All right, so I think we're good. We've got the coffee. I've got a little bit of tea rolling here, the old Tetley British rounds. So if you are a Tetley drinker, you're in business with me this morning. I couldn't get enough, at university in Great Britain and England, at Leeds College of Music, and then just had a fun time, learned a lot. But Tetley was on the menu multiple times a day, the British round, and then the expedited brew. It was sugar and milk all the time, always. That's what tea was. And then it was Boddington's Cream Ale and Guinness after that, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So here we are, and we're going to start with a good fancy breath, welcoming you. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and double tap the screen if you're on a mobile viewport, or smash that like button. That helps us, I guess. I'm not really sure, but I suppose it would help. It's always nice to have that feel of support from external, from without. So some of us, over time, I'm going to encourage us that we do not, it's nice to have, we do not need to be reliant on it. So here's the trick. What I want to think about this morning while we work on this morning ritual for guitar growth. I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m., right? I'm watching the dogs this morning, and they're doing their run around. They all three of them, 3 Springer Spaniels, and they're all going out to do their, morning thing. And, Tuckerman's got his tail just kind of whipping all the time, and just kind of turning around. He's looking around for birds. He's kind of running around, kind of doing his little, lifts his leg here, lifts his leg there. And I'm looking into my backyard, my, yard, as I'm looking into infinity, right? I'm looking into infinity, right? I'm thinking like maybe Bruce Cockburn's from the Dragon's Jaws album or whatever, I'm thinking that kind of creation infinity. And I'm thinking, what if every single note that I ever play is part of the permanent record of the universe, right? What if I decide to play a bunch of notes that really don't mean a thing? It don't mean a thing. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. So I'm not sure where that goes exactly, but I want to think about that a little bit today as I blast through this mindless warm-up. I guess it's not really mindless. It's intended to be mindful. So I remember like it's mindful to the point where I remember when I lock the door, when I get off to the market or whatever, I don't think, oh, did I lock the door? I want to be mindful the entire time. So 1 E and a 2, fingers 3 and 4, 11 and 12. And we'll start like we usually start, with a nice, happy smile. And an attitude of gratitude. Uh-oh, something happened, I see, sorry Brent. Emma, when I'm a rock singer with a rock band, I am going to be a licensed therapist, just like Jake from Citizen. That's a good idea. The world could use more of you. That's for sure. That's a wonderful thing to hear. You know, with all the amazing blessings I received, the devil still tried to get me. Yeah, and he'll continue to try. Oh, Japan. Oh, man. All right, I have to admit, I didn't have any time. I was on Screech all day yesterday. I did not have any time to get my Japanese together, but I will. Thank you for being here, and thank you for reminding me, because it's a language I want to learn a little bit more about. I used to play with in university, I used to play with a wonderful horn player, just an alto, beautiful alto player. His name was Kenichi Shimada, and we always used to have some fun with his name, you know, because it sounds a lot like Kenny G, right? So, what a great man, great musician. Oh, sorry, fingers 2 and 3. Next step is 11 and 12. 1 E and a 2, and a T, E and a go. Tape, 100-mile-an-hour tape, right? It used to be called 100-mile-an-hour tape, right? Because you could hold the engine, parts of the engine together with it. I think that's where it came from. All right, Citizen Soldier. I'm gonna have to just really give those guys a listen, I guess. I don't listen enough to the new thing, so it's great. I came to see it again from Japan today. Japanese translation. Marco, you are a godsend. Thank you so much, Marco. Can you translate something back to our Japanese friend? Like something in the order of gratitude, like thanks for coming, and we all so pleased that you were here with us. So 1 E and a 2, fingers 1 and 2, frets 11 and 12. Thanks, Marco, or anyone who wants to do that. Did you have your show last night? Did I miss your show? Did I miss the Denim Dennis show? Well, first of all, I think the licensed therapy angle is not to be trivialized. You know what I mean? That's a pretty serious approach. And you could do, you take classes online, you take classes locally and serve your local community colleges, your local sort of like state universities, or you could specialize by running to Harvard if you'd like. You know, it's just, you've got to get engaged or enrolled first. And stick with it. Just stick with it. Set a plan in motion and do it. Pretty. I know it sounds sort of asinine, but it's really that simple. You know, set a plan and do the thing. That's what we're doing right here, right now. Fingers 3 and 4, 10 and 12. 1 E and a 2 and a T E. If you have any questions, we do have friends in the business like that. So 1 E and a 2 and T E and a 4 E and I love denim dentist style. In my humble opinion, you already made it. So I may bounce early, start going to different hardwares. Yeah, I understand. I totally get that. But duct tape's not going to solve the patch for a moment, is it? Denim Dentist does rock, so I really appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoy Denim Dentist as much as I do. I'm baffled how good and consistent you are. 3. Oh yeah, very cool. Thanks, Marco. I hope that's not too much to ask. I appreciate it. How much do you rehearse, Anthony? Not as much as we should. I know it, yeah, that's always the case. Happy to tell people who my favorite musicians are. Oh, that's cool. Maybe like drop them one at a time. Top 10, reverse order. Oh yeah, good. That's good to hear, Emma. That's good to hear. So 1 E and a 2 and a T E and a 4 E and so sometimes, for the sake of selling a record, you know, oh, let's go to Ozzy. Didn't Ozzy like do like bite the head off of a bat or something, or a rat on stage, or allegedly, or something like that? So there is a little bit of that sort of like flash of, you know, what is it called? It creates a curiosity gap, I guess. That, you know, ooh, did he really do that? Is that album really that bad? Is it really, you know, awesomely bad? Is it something my parents don't want me to listen to? You know, whatever the marketing tool is, I think the music is definitely like, you know, you listen to bands like Denim Dentist and you know that the music speaks first, right? If you haven't checked them out here on YouTube, I would highly recommend. So they've got a beautiful record, a beautiful album called Journeyman that's right here on YouTube. You actually listen to the whole thing right here on YouTube, Spotify, and anywhere you can, you know, you absorb your music and enjoy your music. So we were talking about this a little while ago, recently. Fingers 1 and 2, 10 and 12. 1 E and a 2 and a here we go. It was, yeah, after the record is released, that's when the real work starts, doesn't it? You know, it's about building a plan, it's about sticking with the plan, and it's really a lot of what we do has to deal with the plan, I think. And it's a beautiful thing to have a plan in motion. To be able to plan, I think that's a remarkable gift in itself, to be able to plan. And then execute the plan is really just an act in perseverance and patience and perseverance. And of course, with patience and perseverance, you can accomplish all things. And I would argue, in alignment with God, that would be another, you know, a pretty important piece of my puzzle, my personal puzzle. My personal puzzle isn't too difficult to figure out. So, Bernard Ardis, happy day, very cool, very nice. All right. I cut the bad stuff out thinking I had the right parts last night. Nothing like a 15-minute job turning into a 3-day ordeal, huh? Yep, I'm familiar with those. You're just one stripped bolt away from it turning into a 3-day ordeal. Yeah, and those are character building moments. Just gotta stretch here, just gotta get a little stretch in. All right, we'll go ahead and stretch a little bit, see how that works for us. I'll take a look at some commentary. Can you guys hear the voice and the guitar okay this morning? Iggy Pop, yeah, very nice. Bernard's listing, Jason, Carey, Denham Dennis, Oliver, Anthony, good, yeah, Jesse Wells, that new Hunter kid, oh, good, I gotta check that out. Are you gonna plug in tonight? I don't have a plan, someone get me a bat. I think, you know, even a stuffed bat, you know, you've got to mean it though. You've got to really, like some of the guys from S1E78 or whatever it is, you've got to really like mean it. You've got to live what you're, you know, you've got to really mean it. I think that's the trick. I don't know. Because I don't know anything, you know. I don't know. The more I know, the less I know, you know what I mean? Oh, it's kind of like... Oh, that's a Brian Sutton song, right? We'll come back to that another time. Or just kind of like pieces of it are coming back to me. The more I know, I think Brian Sutton, really wonderfully talented bluegrass guitar player. The More I Know, I think, is the name of the record, and it's a couple of records, a couple albums back. So, yes, we need the click of the metronome. Can you? Okay, good. Emma Brown. Oh, yeah, I have some, yeah, I'm familiar with that situation, Emma. That's right. A lot of anxiety and depression. So diet and exercise is pretty important. You know, keep moving. That's a good, there's no substitute for that. I'm no plumber who's supposed to know the use of very. Yeah, Emma, yeah, just keep moving. That's the trick. Activity is the key in many situations. So fingers, what are we doing? Fingers, oh, 2 and 4. Let's do 2 and 4. Let's get those stretched out. Let's get these stretched out. Fingers 2 and 4, 9 and 12. I've got to go ahead and reel in my breath today. I'm a little bit, maybe that T has really kicked me a little bit. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 9 and 12, go. But back to focusing on whether each note I play actually affects or impacts anything in the universe. So that butterfly effect. So what does one note work out to be? You know, friends who are just gazillionaires, well, I don't really count my pennies. I don't really watch things that closely. So, you know, there are a number of different sort of disciplines, and I think for the fine arts practitioner, there's a certain level of artistic license that goes into, you know, is inserted into the remaining like that childlike, remaining in that status of childlike wonder, right? So for the world, we always have that wonder and that exploration, that desire to continue to learn more and wonder more. And so that's a little bit of what's going on here, I think. 1 E and a 2, 9 and 12, 1 and 3. So breath is going to overtake the journey for the next 30 seconds. I know you know that. Silly me to pretend. Can you hear the click of the metronome now? That should be better. King 187, that's great. So there's a G run in there somewhere. So let's take a look. Fingers, did we do 1 and 3? We did 1 and 3. So let's do 7, 12, 1 and 4. Here we go. Working on the 4th finger this morning, specializing in the 4th finger. 1 E and 2. Yeah. Can you play Happy Birthday? Sure. Played it inside this warm-up. Can you sing Happy Birthday and then run through programs like that? That's a really fun thing to do. That informs the feel of the song, because Happy Birthday is sort of internalized and we own it enough to the point where we can use it as a tool to bend our morning ritual to our will, I think. So here we go. 1 E and 2 fingers, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's one on the, there's one that's a Hitchhiker's Guide on my Fourth Wall store. There's one that's a Hitchhiker's Guide. There's a tea. It's a black tea, I think. So don't panic, sure. Yeah, see? So we have this. Lewis, good morning. The click, click, click. The click, click, click is the time that we're snapped to this morning. Let's do 1, 2, 3 and stretch 4. And then fingers 1, 2, 3, 4 will stretch back with the first finger. 1 and the 2 E and the T E and the 4 E and the... If you're just tuning in, I want to welcome you to the morning ritual for guitar growth. So this is just something I do every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, this time of the year. And if you bring a guitar, you can jump on board and work on some morning ritual warm-up type things with the group in here in the live chat. Go. Just get through that a little bit this morning. I've got to arrive at my next stretch here, so here we go. I'm just going to be quiet for the remainder of this warm-up. And this is how I would normally do this warm-up anyway. There's not a whole lot of entertainment value in a warm-up. You know, I don't believe there is intended to be entertainment value. I believe that there is intended to be in a warm-up the universal value of appreciation, devotion, and practice. And so it's my intention to take what I do, you know, kind of seriously, because this is what I do. And, you know, I don't expect others to do or appreciate the same things in the same way as the way I do this stuff. So, you know, this is all basically a program designed specifically for those of us who, you know, just want to spend the time with the guitar, practicing the guitar, doing guitar things. And it's not anything more than that. So I'll continue working on 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 and 4 and... Thanks, Mark. travel well, Mark. Yeah, good day, man. Some cycle 4 while I have a few minutes left here. Cycle 4 sequencing, we're kind of working through major scales, and I'm just going to run through the cycle 4 sequencing. If you'd like, we're 37 minutes in. If you wanted to come back and take a look at these scale patterns in halftime, you're more than welcome to do that. Ready? 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a 4 E and a... Now I'm working through patterns of threes. morning, Sam Tree. Good morning. This kind of feels like a Philip Glass kind of pattern. So now we've arrived at a place where I'm working through the pentatonic riffs that we've been kind of hitting on over the week. I feel like maybe I'm close to warm up. And just working minor pentatonics, or in this case, major pentatonic. Pieces, you know, so that I can build these into faster, more robust pieces if I wanted to, you know, enjoy some speed blasted behind this. And this is how velocity is generated in the sound of one's practice, at least my practice. can see where I just tried to transition through that Philip Glass style repetition to what I've got to work on in, you know, smaller scale repetitions in the pentatonic world, because those little pieces, we don't get the speed that we want just by, you know, playing through the whole scale. Breaking the scale down into small patterns or smaller, you know, sort of technical nuggets is a great solution for me that I've found that works well for me personally. And maybe it works well for you. Maybe it'll work well for you. So I'll just keep working through this pattern here. And then we'll try the next pattern. Or I'll try the next pattern. So I've got to make a finger choice here. Hey Ben, thanks for the question. Thanks for the Avenged Sevenfold Nightmare. That's a wonderful, wonderful band. You know, I used to teach those guys all the time, and back in the day when they started just hitting. You know. So what you've stumbled into here is a morning ritual for guitar growth, and it's just simple. It's very simple. It's intended specifically to be about personal growth with the guitar, specifically the guitar, and specifically the whole person, and specifically through breath, and through tuning up and maintaining our tune throughout the entire sequence, while we typically work through programmatic, just finger warm-ups. You know, it's good times and bad times. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience to engage with the guitar in your own personal time. And if you'd like to join us, we have a pretty banging live chat usually, and you can always count on it. And we could practice alone together, but this is specifically intended to be for guitar growth. Morning ritual for guitar growth, right? So let's try to remain just kind of like it's a mantra. Like if you do decide to engage over the span of 2025, it's one of those things that you know, I'm here, you know, I don't typically tend to play around with things. I typically tend to really want to do the best I possibly can. I don't have time in my life to dilly-dally with the things that don't support my personal goals. I mean, you know, it's not a selfish thing, but it is an hour a day where I take the time, and it's okay for you to justify taking the time to improve your guitar life. That in turn will improve my own life. It will improve my family life, my community life, and it will continue to radiate out into the world. So I wanted to remain focused on guitar growth. And if you're interested at all or curious about that at all, you can meet us again here every weekday morning. I do this every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And it's always running for about an hour. And I hope to see you again tomorrow. And I really do appreciate you making the time to be here and you know, asking questions related to what's going on in the stream, related to what's next, or how do we do this, or how do we overcome this problem. So I definitely appreciate you being here, and I thank you for being here. And we'll see you again tomorrow. And until we meet again, I can see there are some questions that I have. I'm a rapper. This is good. Suresh Sharma. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here. And Kevin, thanks, Jason. Have a great day, everybody. Until tomorrow, thank you, Kevin, for being here. Robbie, thank you for coming. And thank you, everyone, for being here. And we'll see you again tomorrow at 7:30. And until then, I wish you happy picking. And don't worry, the speed will come. Just keep showing up. All right. I'll be here for you tomorrow.